Welcome to another MSI demo meeting. Today we don't have too much of the new information as we've been busy with packaging and completing the release for MSI 112, which would be included with Magento, the next patch release of Magento. So the main update for the release is that we have once more packaged the MSI modules, and those are currently only available internally, but we are now working on publishing those as beta too, to make it generally available. Uh, we have some regression testing going on, both for Magento and MSI, and MSI-specific testing is going pretty well. We don't have too much of failures. We already completed a few cycles with different setups. Actually, I think I can share some information around. So we already had some cycles. One was with the Enterprise Magento, one was with just a Community Edition, and some of the latest fixes which we delivered after the first cycle. So we see some decrease in number of failures. This is caused by the fact that some of the tests are only failing on Enterprise Edition, and some of the tests were fixed. Bugs were fixed during the past week. So this is pretty much it regarding the release update, and I am going to go straight to some of the new pull requests, which unfortunately would not make it into the upcoming release, but still present some nice content. Let me see what was on the agenda. So one of the pull requests was done by Sergey, who I assume is not on the call today. For some reason he was unable to connect, but I'll try to demo and present what's been done in the scope of this pull request. So the idea was to improve the UI for the assigned sources on the product page. We already had some work going in that direction, but Sergey decided to completely rethink it and implement it in, like he claims, in Magento style with the grid and familiar controls. So to the demo. Basically, what had changed now with this pull request applied, what we have here is a new representation of the inventory tab. So it used to look twice as small as this, and buttons were in their own places, but now buttons are pretty much aligned the same as all other controls. And the source assignment is now presented as a nice grid, which has pretty much common look and feel for all of the Magento. All of the functionality remains the same, so we still have the assign and assign, and we can change all the values, and it's still functional as it was before. Additionally, the advanced inventory was moved, but it's opening in the same old slide out, but now in a new place. So this is pretty much covers the pull request from Sergey. We'll still be working with Mark, who is the product owner for MSI, to make sure that he doesn't have any questions with this, and we'll be merging that right after updating all of the functional tests, which also rely on this functionality. So this was the first update, and one more nice feature pull request, which was implemented by William during the Imagine on the contribution day. And unfortunately, I think William is living in Australia, and it's night in there now, so I'll also present this one. And this pull request pretty much adds a new feature, and I've heard some people were waiting for that feature. And this is mass enabling and disabling of sources. So again, pretty small, but for someone may be really useful. Basically, what has to have changed, that we can select some of my custom sources and just disable those. And this is as simple as this. So not a big one, but I guess would save some time for someone in the future. So with this pull request covered, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and will pass the word to Maxim, who has been working hard on the store pickup track and has at least 2 updates today. We have merged quite a lot of pull requests from him lately, so store pickup is going well. Max, please feel free to continue.
Hi to all. Let me share my screen. I hope I succeeded. So
Yes, it
I'm
did.
going to present 2 pull requests today. The first one is about store pickup orders race condition. Uh, what does it mean? So let's imagine we have 2 orders placed. One of them is placed using store pickup. Let me show it. Quantity is 8, and this product has quantity 8 on this pickup location source and 4 into another. What's the problem? If we place another order, there could be a case when, as you can see now, source selection algorithm thinks that, well, if we need to ship 8 items, we could use this pickup source just to avoid internal transportations, and it's cool. But by the fact, we should reserve this quantity. So we should take all the orders placed using store pickup and reserve their quantity for the source selection algorithm. So what do I mean? At the moment, as you can see, there is 8 available for pickup source, 4 for and 4 for 2 others. With my pull request, it looks like that. Quantity available for pickup source is 0 because we already have an order placed using store pickup for this source. So selection algorithm should not see it. That's all. That's fact. I
Just
will
on a
not.
side note, sorry for interrupting, but just on a side note, we have also been talking about possibility to enable or disable that feature. So this is something we're still, I guess, figuring out if we wanted to have always on when store pickup is present or make it configurable.
Yeah, we plan to discuss it later with the product owner. Okay. So there is a second one pull request, also about store pickup, not merged yet. Let me show an original issue. Well, that's simple. We just need to create 2 additional attributes for source, which are not used in the source itself, but are used for pickup locations. So technically, they are extension attributes. How does it look now? So previously we had an users pickup location checkbox, and now if we switch it, a magic happens. A brand new section named pickup location is displayed. So, and we have the for the name and for the description. For the WYSIWYG fields, input label is not showed, but this is for that description, just believe me. Initially, we planned to create for that name and open hours field, but after some discussions, we realized that we may just use a specific field and put everything inside it, and left open hours for third-party developers, for example. Well, however, that's not all. If you remember, we have a mapper which converts a source entity to the immutable pick application entity. And what's the problem? You should have a format name for the pick application to display it for that, even if it's not set in the back office. So we created, Alexander Korchuk created another extension point for the mapper. It's preprocessors. So previously we were able to map fields from the source to be moved to the pick application. And now, in the same way, we can register custom preprocessor for this field. How does it look like now? So, for example, this simple one, if for that name is empty, let's use source name. That's all for now, I believe. Thank you for your attention. And excuse me for my bad English.
Thank you very much, Max. I don't think your English is bad. I managed to understand everything, so thank you very much for your effort. Okay, so I think we don't have too many more updates. The last one would be just a short update on the test cases. Usually we have the quality report by Tom, but due to the fact that we were working hard to reorganize all of the MSI heap tests and all of the scenarios, Tom's automations did not make it, and this week we'll just present what's changing. So for those of you who possibly use these test cases for some purposes, which we have 650 now, what we have come up with is that we changed directory structure. Now it looks more like single stock and multi-stock directories are root directories instead of MSI. This means that we have some test cases which not directly relate to MSI. For example, all of the MSI scenarios, but like all of the inventory scenarios, but executed in the single stock mode when we did not create any sources or stocks. And the other one covers all of these scenarios which relates to the multi-stock, where user enabled few sources, stocks, and stuff like that. So this is done to allow self-contained MSI regression testing cycles. So we keep like Magento related stuff here as well. So another major update, like what we've been working on during the past weeks, is labeling all of these cases and linking them to the found artifacts. So, like for example, we have some random tests, we have some steps, something happening here, but now we have a huge scope, a huge amount of labels, which identify the automation status of the test case, the type of the automation applied, so it may be MFTF, or in some cases Web API and integration tests. It again indicates mode, the severity of this scenario, and the MSI release where this specific test case was introduced. So doing this kind of updates would allow us to improve qualities in the future, as we'll be able to generate better reports and metrics and figure out where do we miss on the where do we miss on the automation? So this is something we'll be working throughout the next month, I guess, and we'll see more automation items popping up. So this is pretty much it on the test reorganization. And yes, I think this is even it for today. So thank you very much for joining. Thank you for your time, and thanks a lot, Max, for sharing these topic updates. It's really exciting, and I hope we'll see some end-to-end scenarios working with in-store pickup shortly.
You're
Have a
welcome.
great weekend. Have a great weekend, and bye.
You too.